Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Impact Virtual Conference hosted by ISTE community leaders. My name is Marcela Alejandra Villan, and I am a global educator and teacher, local teacher, in modern school in Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is my LinkedIn banner, and it makes me very proud to show you all the organizations that I collaborate with. This presentation today is called Creating Solutions for a Better World, and it will deal specifically with everything I have learned in my micro-credential program, solutionary micro-credential program at the Institute for Humane Education. So our agenda today, to begin with, I'm going to tell you why we need to look for solutions. Then we will see how we can reach them. I'm going to introduce you to the idea of the question of system thinking so that you can really see what we need to do with in this looking for solutions. And finally, I am going to tell you how to take all this to our lessons. So number one, why is it that we need to look for solutions? What comes to your mind when we think of a better world? Well, I imagine that you may all have different ideas, but I am sure that all these ideas I'm going to show you come to our minds. I'm sure some people think about clean energies, more clean water, better soils, and that's great. Others may think of respect, empathy, tolerance, and other values, and that's wonderful as well. Some people may think about better economies and more jobs. Amazing. Peace, justice, inclusion, and that's wonderful as well. Then also the question of soils, animals, fresh air, a better environment, and that's great, of course, because we all think about solutions that will make our world more peaceful, more tolerant, more inclusive, more equitable. Now, how can we reach these solutions? I have just told you that I am a global educator. So when I am a global educator, I prepare my students to become global citizens. What is a global citizen? A global citizen, of course, as you can see here, is a citizen who is aware of the wider world. It's a citizen who lives sustainably. It's a citizen who tackles social injustice. It's a citizen who recognizes our human rights in education, who recognizes respect and other values, and who takes action towards equity. No doubt, all the things are connected with all the other things I've mentioned before, all the things that have come to your mind when we talked about a better world. We define a global citizen as someone who sees himself or herself as being part of an emerging world community and whose actions help define this community's values and practices. This is a definition by the Global Citizens Initiative, and I do agree with it. We know that global citizenship education works basically on three pillars: the cognitive pillar, the social-emotional pillar, and the behavioral pillar. By working on the cognitive pillar, we are working on the knowledge that our students need to get to become a global citizen. By working on the social-emotional pillar, we are working on the values that our students need to become a global citizen. And by working on the behavioral pillar, we are going to motivate our students to take action to create a better world. For all this, we have a perfect framework that we can take to our lessons. They are the Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goals created in the year 2015 by the United Nations with the purpose of creating a better world for all. These goals have to be achieved by the year 2030, so not so long. In a few years' time, we should be reaching them. And they are connected with all the problems that the world is facing nowadays and all the solutions that we need to find in just some years. The Sustainable Development Goals contain 17 issues we need to tackle. I'm going to concentrate on Sustainable Goal 4, especially Target 4.7. Sustainable Development Goal 4 says that we have to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Target 4.7 says that by the year 2030, we have to ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion, and a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship and appreciation of culture, diversity, and cultural contribution to sustainable development. And if our students need to achieve all this by the year 2030, who is going to be in charge of taking all this to the lessons? You. Who is going to be in charge of setting all these things into their minds? You, the teacher. So that's why we need to take all these things into the classrooms. Now, what is systems thinking? And why is it that we need system thinking as well? First of all, let's concentrate on the thinking skills. Have a look at this. We believe that good thinking is as much a matter of disposition as it is of a skill. Motivations, attitudes, values, and habits of mind all play key roles in good thinking. And in large part, these elements determine whether people use their thinking skills when it counts. Learning is a consequence of thinking, and developing a culture of thinking is critical if we want to produce the feelings, energy, and even joy that can propel learning forward and motivate learners to do what at times can be hard and challenging mental work. All this, of course, is taken from Project Zero Harvard. Now, do you make your students think? Can your students think properly? Can we teach to think? Of course, we can. Can good thinking be taught? Of course, it can. And we must make our students think. We must teach our students how to think because they have to think of these solutions that we need for the future. Remember that we have great tools to promote thinking in our lessons, the thinking routines, also from Project Zero, and the power of big questions can all help to make our student thinking more visible. The power of big questions. Why do you think so? What's another angle on this? How does this fit? What lies beneath the surface? Let's remember that our students have wonderful ideas inside. We just have to get to know them, right? And we just have to get to see what's inside their minds. And the most important question of all, what makes you say that? Let's remember that maybe our students say something that does not fit our answer, but surely fits what they have inside their minds. So this question is very powerful. What makes you say that? And now, yes, with no more delays, I'm here to show you the Solutionary Micro-Credential Program. We need to create solutionaries. This program has completely changed the way I connect with my students. This program is based on the teachings found in this book, the book that you can see here, The World Becomes What We Teach. Don't tell me that this title is not powerful. The world becomes what we teach, and it's absolutely like that. What we take to adolescents, what we take to our classes, is what the future will be like. So please, let's take the correct things. I'm really honored and humbled to be part of this team of amazing people. I'm honored to be part of this team with Zoe Well as a president. I am really honored and humbled to be part of this team with my dear mentor, Julie Metzel, to whom I am really grateful. The world becomes what we teach, and it's exactly like that. Human education is a field of study and an approach to teaching that draws connections between human rights, animal protection, and environmental sustainability. The goal of humane education is to prepare people to be compassionate, dedicated solutionaries, able to identify unjust, inhumane, and unsustainable systems, and to create solutions that enable people, animals, and nature to thrive. To ensure that people have the skills and experiences to be solutionaries for a more just, humane, and healthy world, humane educators help students and help others to acquire the knowledge by preparing them to be enthusiastic and effective researchers who are able to obtain accurate information about interconnected local and global challenges and discern facts from opinion and conjecture. They will also help others to think deeply by developing their critical systems, strategic, and creative thinking skills. They will help others to make compassionate and responsible choices for fostering wonder and appreciation for the natural world, and empathy for people and animals, and commitment to doing the most good and the least harm. Solutionary framework also helps people to focus on solutions by providing opportunities to collaboratively engage in problems and implement ideas and assess and improve upon them. We need solutions and we need to create solutionaries. The world becomes what you teach. The world becomes what you take to your lessons. And systems thinking is one of the great tools that you have to take to your lessons to make your students connect the dots. No man is an island. That is a well known phrase and it's a perfect phrase. But yet, in practice, how often do we understand the interconnectedness of everything around us? How much do we understand about it? System thinking can help us grasp the interconnectedness of our world. Someone called it the cognitive skill of the 21st century, and I do agree with that. There are systems all around us if we know where to look. Our family is one system. The community where we live is another system. The city to which the community belongs, it's another system, and so on and so forth, right? So we have to get to know how to connect all those systems because all those systems interact. So how can we take all this to the lessons and make solutionaries out of our students? There is a wonderful tool that can accompany your lessons and can make your students think about the interconnectedness of this world. This is the compass tool. The compass tool is like a compass, as you can see, in which the north will represent nature, the south will represent society, the east will represent the economy, and the west will represent the well-being of people. Now, if you have a look at this campus that you have here, you will see that all the SDGs, all the problems that our world is facing belong to some part of the tool, of the campus tool. And if you see, all these points are interconnected. That is to say, all these problems that we have that our world is facing are interconnected. By working on one of these issues, you're working on all others. We need to transform education. We need to change the way we teach. We need to take the things that we need to take to the classrooms. The world will become what you teach. Transformative thinking is how we innovate, and system thinking is essential for this journey. We have to make our students think of solutions. We have to make our students take out their ideas right from their minds. And this is the way to do so. And this is the solutionary framework. The solutionary framework will help you do this. Have a look at this. 4 amazing steps. We have to identify a problem. We have to investigate into the problem. We have to innovate on the problem. And we have to implement a solution for that problem. This framework is amazingly good, and this framework will help your students create amazing solutions for our world. When they identify the problem, when they investigate, they will be using their critical thinking. Then they will connect with their system thinking and they will start connecting the dots, right? Trying to find the interconnectedness of all the systems in the world. Then they will try to innovate, strategic thinking, think of strategies, right, that they can use to propose solutions. Finally, they will try to implement that solution, creative thinking at its most. So, four types of thinking: critical thinking, system thinking, strategic thinking, and creative thinking. And our world will have all the solutions that it needs. Remember, the world becomes what you teach. We need to transform education, and we can do it now, right now. Have a look at these wonderful phrases. Believing that a better future is possible strengthens hope. Let's make school meaningful and joyful, because the education of children is the root system underlying all other societal systems. Please, let's take to the lessons what our students need. The world becomes what you teach. And that is how I teach here in Lanús, where my school is located in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I work with a solutionary framework, and it really works perfectly well. I make my students investigate into an SDG, the one they choose, the one they want to work on. They investigate the causes, the consequences of a problem. If some solutions have already been found or have already been tried for this problem, then I make them think about the connections of that problem with the other systems around the world and with the other systems that we have at hand. And then I make them think of solutions. They think of the possible solutions, the strategies to use, and they create their solutions. And so I'm making solutionaries out of my students, and I am making my students work locally. How important it is. By working locally, right, we are acting globally. So remember, think globally, act locally, and that will help the world. And all this, of course, aligns perfectly well with the ISTA standards, all the standards that we can see here, the standards for educators, the standard for students, the standard for leaders, all of them aligned to this perfect framework. So we can take everything into our lessons. Thank you very much for watching this. This is my personal information. If you want to contact me and you want to know more about this, you can also go into our website, www.humaneducation.org, and you can find material, you can find information about the solutionary programs and much more. And of course, thank you very much for watching this. Thank you once again for watching this session as part of the Global Impact Virtual Conference hosted by ISTE community leaders. Please continue watching other sessions, including the pre-recorded ones and the ones live. You can also join in the conversation throughout the conference on ISTE Connect and ISTE social media using the hashtags ISTE Global and hashtag ISTE Community. Bye. Thank you.